Sup, you fools! Matt ESC United, your favorite Eurovision channel, and welcome back. This is Mattitude, the ESC United live stream, where we're going to discuss, you know it, the results of the week, the national finals, and of course, the news of the week in terms of, you know it, let's talk Eurovision. And so much to talk about. Man, I'm sure I don't need these. I don't know why I'm having them still on. But the point is, we had 3 shows. We had Sweden, Melodifestivalen, the second semi-final, Norway, Melody Grand Prix semi-final 58, I believe. Now it's the 5th one. And of course, Croatia and Dora is back, and we actually have a winner, and we are going to talk about this right here, me and you. And as always, I'm just so glad that you're here. And first, I will share the news, then I'll talk about it, and then you can answer you as well, so we can go over this together. How does that sound? First of all, thank you everyone that is here in the chat with us, and I want a quick shout out to some of our members, and that is ESVL97 Karins, as well as Joanna Sundatten, I probably butchered that, but I tried, for becoming members here at ESC United on YouTube. This is what keeps the channel going, and the community, of course, that we provide in our forum, our website, and all of that. So if you want to support us as well, you can just click on membership, but if not, that is fine as well. Help us share the videos, like them, and subscribe. Any help here, of course, will help us. So thank you for everyone in the chat. So I don't think we should waste any more time, because there is plenty to talk about. Let's talk Eurovision. I said that already. Let's say it again. So let's go over to, I think we should talk about what? Croatia first, because they just had their national final, Dora 2021, come to a close. They picked a song. Okay, let's back up here for just a second. Croatia, obviously a valuable member to the Eurovision Song Contest and the community. They first joined the contest, by the way, back in 1993. We are slowly approaching the 30-year anniversary, at least in terms of calendar years. Now, Croatia has had some ups and downs at the contest, and their best results, by the way, has been a 4th place, which they reached twice, in 1996 and in 1999. That's the best results to date. And it's been a while. 1999, you know, over 20 years, 22 years, if my math doesn't kind of screw over with me. The last time they took part was in 2019, which of course was the most recent event, because Croatia couldn't take part in 2020. Just like all the other countries, due to COVID, the contest was cancelled. So, but unfortunately, last time around with Roko, My Dream, they did not qualify, so they're trying again. Last year, they did pick a song that had Dora, Damir Ketso, and I know I butchered the name. I always forget how to pronounce the Z in Croatian, so forgive me. But he won the national final, was set to go to Eurovision again. The contest was cancelled, and he didn't go. And he didn't submit a song this year around. Therefore, we won't see him on the Eurovision stage in Rotterdam. But there's always 2022 and 23. So, 14 entries battled it out tonight. And they were chosen by the broadcaster, HRT. And the winner was chosen by a 50-50 combination of regional juries. I think there were 10 regional juries. And as well, then, of course, the public vote. And and that is where we're at. If there was a tie, we actually would have had to go to a tiebreaker, which then the upper hand would have been given to the televote results. But that didn't happen because Croatia also adjusted their point system compared to previous years, and I will talk about that in a minute as well. And that made a significant difference. And we can see, but maybe not looking at the outcome. Anyway, I digress. So Croatia has had a interesting national final. I enjoyed thoroughly, but let's talk about the outcome first. And we have a winner, and it is Albina. Albina won not just the jury vote, but also the televote. So since she won both groups fair and square. There shouldn't be much controversy, or at least upset. There will always be upset people, of course. But she won it fair and square, and is going to Rotterdam, or at least is going to represent Croatia at Eurovision, because we don't know whether or not the acts can actually travel. But the point is, she will represent Croatia this year with her song Tick-Tock. Tick-Tock is the winner, and there have been a lot of opinions and a lot of thoughts out there. And it was pretty close in the jury vote, and then the televote may be a different story. But you know what? Let's take a look at the jury scores first, because they were the ones that voted first. And over there, it was quite close, as you can see, because Tick-Tock won the jury vote with 78 points. And right behind is the song Colors. Colors received 1 point less than Tick-Tock and was performed by Bernarda. Bernarda, actually blind, singing a song about colors, was a very interesting approach there. In addition, it was close. As you can see, Colors has been sent to multiple national finals in the past, and now it finally was able to be performed on a stage. In third place, with 68 points, was Nina Kraljic-Rijeka, a fan favorite as well. Did pretty good in the jury vote, although it was, in the beginning, it didn't look quite as well. And then last year's runner-up, Mia Negovitic, she finished in fourth place in the jury vote, and Blind in fifth. It was pretty close. There was not a clear runaway winner in the end with the juries. And that changed a little bit, because after this, then, of course, guess what? The televoters had a say as well. And as you can see, the points that we just looked at, they were basically kind of like what we saw at Eurovision at Melodifestivalen in Sweden, where they can just points being allocated based on, you know, the point pot that was available. And the same thing was done with the televote. So instead of just giving 10 points, they're going to see how many votes a particular song has received, and then will be proportionately applied to that. So let's take a look at the televotes results. And Tick-Tock, as pointed out, won fair and square by a landslide in the televote. 120 points for Tick-Tock. Tick-Tock, a clear winner. So whether or not you agree with the results, it was just what the juries and the televoters preferred, and therefore is gonna go to Eurovision. Interestingly enough, Nina, the first song of the night, she finished in second place with 77 points of the juries. The televoters, and ultimately finished in a respectable and clear second place. And that is all there is to it. It wasn't enough to win, but still a good result. And then it gets tight. She's Like a Dream caught up a little for Mia Negovitic, and she finished in third place with 119. And then there's technically a tie between the Klapa band, Kambi, as well as Blind. Blind, performed by Filip Rudan, 118 points. Now, the interesting part about this outcome is that Colors, only 1 point shy of winning the televote, did not quite convince the jury vote, did not quite convince the televote. Only 22 points for Colors, and therefore dropping significantly from a close second, almost winning spot, into an overall 7th place. That is just a very interesting situation, how it panned out. But I'm glad we have televoters, because, you know, otherwise it felt always like they're not being represented. We kind of have that situation in Albania for the most part. So the people have spoken in Croatia, and our beloved Albina will sing Tick-Tock in Rotterdam, and that's the news. And I know, I followed the chat on YouTube in the live stream, and boy, were there a lot of opinions, and like that had never happened before at Eurovision, but it did. And there was, for the most part, of course there are other camps as well, but it was Nina versus Bernarda versus Albina. those three ladies were like had the biggest fan base in the running, and they were like ow, ow, like yapping at each other, and I was just sitting there eating popcorn. Now it was actually it was nerve-wracking. How nerve-wracking was this national final? I enjoyed it tremendously, and that is the part I just get always excited about, especially when, I mean, in the end it was a landslide, right? But we didn't know until the very last set of points came in. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I am very, very happy with Albina's win. If you watched my reaction video, and if not, go back and watch it. I think now that we have the results, it won't really spoil it for you. But I put Albina initially in my personal top three, third place. I have a soft spot for like klapa and traditional sounds from Croatia, therefore Kambi and Nina were actually ahead of it because, I put that traditional, approachable sound that I love about Croatia always ahead of pop music. Oh, almost always, unless it's not done well. But in this case, it was done well, so those are my top two. But Albina, to me, clearly the best pop modern song that was in the running, and therefore I'm not too surprised that it did well. Am I sad that Nina didn't win? Yeah, I would have loved for her to go back, and I knew that Kambi had no shot at winning, but I am thrilled that they did better than a lot of people thought, myself included. So that was definitely my honest first reaction when I saw it. I'm like, I'm nervous because if it's Nina, I would be over the moon, but if it's Albina, it's always so difficult with the names, so I don't mess them up. Albina, I would have been also stoked because I am actually quite fond of it. I think it's just a good pop song. Yes, would I preferred like the traditional sounds? Yeah, yeah. But hey, you can't have it all. Plus, it was a fair and square winner. Now, there were a bunch of surprises in the running that I did not see coming, and I thought that Bernarda would do a little better with the televoters and colors, because, she was like 1 point shy of winning in a jury vote, and then did not quite work with the televoters. When you watch my reaction video, I also had her fairly low. I had like in 9th or 8th place, I don't remember exactly. But the song itself didn't click with me. I will say live, she sounded good. Like, I feel as Bernarda needs to come back with a song that's a little bit more... Okay, now I'm going to piss off all the Bernarda fans. Remarkable. I do think that melodically, Colors was a little on the safe side. And I know a lot of people are going to say the same thing about Tick-Tock, but I think Tick-Tock just had a much more instantaneous kind of hook and memorable melody. There is the reason why it did significantly better than Colors in the running. It just clicked with people a lot more, and I can absolutely see why. I'm a bit surprised that the traditional old school sound from like Tony Satinsky and Sandy Tenov, and I'm missing one, did not quite do as well with the juries. I didn't think it would do with the televoters, but that is certainly a very interesting outcome. That it seems as the trend in Croatia is not to send the old school stuff anymore, which, hey, that's how it works. I'm just thrilled. The most important thing is that Croatia continues this trend since they returned to the contest, where either love their song or just don't get it at all. They always take turns. And like in 2017, I didn't care for Croatia's song. In 2018, Franca's song I loved. In 2019, I do remember My Dream was not for me and a lot of people. But I loved Demir Kechos song very much. So I was expecting a song that I didn't care for to win this year, to get that trend going from like, yay, yay. But you broke it. You broke the trend, Croatia. I like your song for 2 years in a row. So I wanted to point that out. That is really good news. And in a moment, let's talk about it. I want to hear your questions at ESC United in the chat. That would be helpful. And I will ask them or answer them, or statements that you have sharing your thoughts. The biggest surprise of the night actually was to me that the song Share the Love by Ashley and Boyan received more points from the televote than Colors. That to me is not quite right. But honestly, when I watched the performance by those two acts, Share the Love, I'm like, oh gosh, they're going for the schmaltzy, her coming down on a swing, from the ceiling. I'm like, oh my god, they're going all out. But that's what I'm saying. Go all in or go home. And they went all in, and they got at least a good amount of points for that. The song never had a shot to begin with. So, there were. World Sasuri is saying, by the way, I love Albina and TikTok, hashtag Team Albina. So we have at least one fan in the crowd. I'm sure there are more than one. Alice Wonderwatch, did you watch the Inner Act with Vesna Pisarovic, ESA 2002? Yes, of course I watched it. I had to walk away for 1 minute because I had to run to the bathroom. I don't know why I'm sharing this, but I am. So was fun. Was fine. Was a good interval act. You know, you pay attention, but not too much. I loved her entry in 2002, by the way. So it was good to see her back. It's been almost 20 years, 19 years to be exact. It was the first Eurovision I watched in the United States, because before that I still lived in Europe. Now, Louis R. is saying, I'm really happy with the results, and I think Croatia did the right choice choosing a modern and catchy song, Louis is saying. I can see that. It seems as Croatia has better shots. I mean, I love Croatia of the old days very much. I love the old Croatian song. But still, my favorite song from Croatia is 1998, Daniela. That was the very first Eurovision song I've ever listened to, because it was the first song of 1998, the first contest I've ever watched. So that was always will have a special place in my heart. So I really, really thought it was beautiful. Angie P is asking your thoughts on Nina Kralik's performance. I think it was underwhelming. Yeah, it was fine. I mean, I was digging her look. Like, I was really digging her outfit. The staging itself was a little less impressive, I think. It wasn't bad, but I think it was not quite as memorable as I hoped it was going to be. I thought that the acrobats and stuff worked, but yeah, it maybe was not quite as memorable as it could have been. But I loved Nina's outfit. I don't know what it was. I was digging it. It was just very, very different. Nelly is saying, by the way, thank you for the super chat. Miss you and your team covering Eurovision in Arena. I know, me too. This is most likely the second year where we will not be able to go. There's still a slight chance maybe, but I would not bet on it that it will be in Rotterdam, unfortunately. But there will still be, we'll still be able to watch the rehearsals, or, you know, the dress rehearsals and the press conferences. So we would have something remote, but more on that later. Question: where would you put Croatia in your top 6? Green Oscar is asking. So for those who are not sure, we have had 5 songs so far chosen. Croatia is the 6th song chosen out of 41 for the 2021 season. We have France, Ukraine, Lithuania, Israel, and Albania. Croatia is now being added to the lineup. Now, as far as where I would put it, I would probably put it smack down in the middle, 3rd or 4th, I would think, but I have to sit down. I have to sit down and think it through. I probably think there's at least 1 or 2 songs I still think I like better, but that doesn't mean it's not a good song. I think we had a pretty decent start so far in terms of what songs have been chosen. So yeah, but I think it's going to be somewhere in there. Somewhere around that. And where do you think Albina will finish at Eurovision? Do you think they will qualify for the grand final? Well, Connor Wells, that's an early prediction here, considering I only know 6 songs out of 41. I don't know. My gut feeling tells me she's in the running. She's definitely a candidate for qualification. I think it has a modern sound. It still has a remarkable enough melody for it to really stand out, and it has nice little memorable moments. So I do think it has a lot going for it, and I thought it was well performed, and there's still room for improvement, I think, in terms of staging, lighting, colors, and energy. But I think that don't count Croatia out. I think they have a decent shot, you know, based but on what I've seen tonight. But keep in mind, there is so much competition still out there. Let's not jump ahead too far. So don't quote me on this. If you quote me on this, I will be angry. No, I won't be. I believe a revamp is needed for TikTok. What is your opinion? My Eurovision.tv is asking. Yes, I agree. I think there's a little bit sound that could be made a little bit more broad into the year 2021, but it's not that much, just a little bit. I can see where you're coming from. I have to listen to it again. The problem was there was so much going on. We had Sweden, we had Norway, so I was jumping back and forth between all these shows to kind of stay on top of it. And my reaction video to the winning performance, though, will be posted later tonight as well, or first thing tomorrow morning, because that also I did right before, as I was watching the national finals. And then paused one and then jumped to the next one. It was quite a journey. So I am super stoked that we have another song. Where do you guys think at this point? Where is Croatia in your ranking? Let me know in the chat at ESC United. Is it high up at the top? Is it in the bottom out of the 6 songs so far? Again, we got The Roop from Lithuania in the running. We got Barbara Pravi from France. So there are a bunch of, prominent songs. Eden Alain from Israel. Tell me, Ukraine, Goa, Albania, Angela. Where does this song fall? And I'll see what you guys got. Second, top 3, second, so 4th place, 5th, but that's Donkey says it's 5th, but it's incredibly strong this year, so even though it's a 5th place, it's still a good position for you. 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd, 5th, wow, so no one has it as a last favorite, so that is good, right? So Croatians, I think you should rejoice a little bit, although not many people put it in first place. No one puts it in last place either. So it comes down ultimately where this could potentially end up competitive-wise, and I do see a lot of jury appeal here. It seems like a song that juries always tend to go for. That is my impression. So this is what we have in Croatia. We have another song, 6 songs. Now get ready for all the top 6 videos to be posted. As a matter of fact, our video will go up shortly as well. As you know, the Team United has their own ranking for all the members. If you go to a forum and vote, you can also vote for your top 6. You'll be included in the overall ranking, and that video will be up later today because the poll closes at midnight. So if you want Croatia ready to climb up, make sure to vote tonight before it's too late. So yes, so this is Croatia. We're going to see the country in the semi-final 1, I believe, and in the second half. And it's always good to be in the second half, but of course that's not enough. We don't know. Let's take a look at if any of the selected songs are in the same. The Roop, a big favorite, are in the same semi. Let me go. Israel, Eden Alain is in there as well, and Goa as well. So those 3 songs are already in the same semi, and semi 1, of course, is the tough one, people are saying, right? Because the traditionally successful countries at Eurovision are in this one, a lot of them. Australia, Russia, Sweden, Azerbaijan, Israel, you can say, Norway, Ukraine. So all these very powerful powerhouses in there. So it's not an easy road for Croatia, but it's a possible one. I'm not counting it out. But yeah, so that is what we have, and stay tuned for more news. Congratulations, Croatia. I hope you're excited about your entry, because you should not be ashamed. I think this is a good song, according to my humble opinion. Let's move on. We had some other shows. Did you watch them? We had Sweden, Melodifestivalen, and Melodifestivalen semifinal 2. We already had 2 qualifiers from last week, and we're adding 2 more direct qualifiers, and then 4 more to the second chance round. And then 3 songs will be eliminated. So Melodifestivalen, always a fan favorite, although a lot of people are like, it's overrated. I get that, it's a little bit more of the, almost like polarizing, but that's a good thing because you don't want to be boring and just blend in. So anyway, 7 songs battled it out in this semifinal. Christian Björkman's last year as executive supervisor. He's been doing it for many years, so he's co-hosting it. And this time around, he was co-hosting it with Oscar Sia and Anis Don Demina. Both of them were actually prior contestants in Melodifestivalen, and now they did some hosting responsibilities. So let's take a look at the 2 direct qualifiers, and then I would love to hear from you how you feel about it. So usually, in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree, there is like this, okay, I'm looking at the running order of Melodifestivalen, and I'm like, I feel as that I can already feel like who may qualify. But before I do that, actually, let me jump ahead and show you what I initially had as my top 7. That was based on the original rehearsals, right? And that was from the minute clips that we've seen. And it was Daughter was my number one, Julia Elfrida was my number two, Patrick Jean 3, Valen Sami 4, Anton Ewald 5, Eva and Ewa 6, and Frida Green 7. Not necessarily the most popular opinion. I know a lot of people will not agree with me on that, but that was also just based on the first impression of the night. And I completely changed my opinion. Not completely, but there were definitely some growers in there, and let's talk about this. So, the first direct qualifier that was announced of the evening was Little Dot. Little Tot, the name of the song, performed by Daughter. You remember her vaguely. She was this close, and by this close, I mean 1 point shy of winning Melodifestivalen last year with Bulletproof. Now she's back with Little Tot. And she actually, I almost said she won it all. We don't know if she finished first or second, but she certainly managed to be in the top two, therefore got her direct ticket to the grand final. Not a surprise to me. I think it was the fan favorite to begin with, and the running order going last. Oh, it's a pretty good indicator in Sweden that at the bare minimum you are in second chance, but in most cases you are actually a directly qualified entry. And then the second song that was announced was Anton Ewald. Anton Ewald with New Religion was the first song of the night to be performed. And he made it through. The song is, by the way, not really about religion. It's just a new religion. So he went through once again. Not a big surprise there. I think those were the two expected direct qualifiers. Therefore, they are through and get to perform again. But there are two more songs that are still in the running and still have a shot of making it to the actual grand final. One of them, Frida Green, The Silence. The Silence, she made it through. She's either in third or fourth place, and she can still make it. She's going to have to face, and those are Eva Rydberg and Eva Rose. Rena Rama Ding Dong. The Swedish song that made it through, the only one that is still in the running from this semi. Last week, actually, both Swedish songs managed to go directly through. This time, this song has to still battle it out, but it is absolutely possible. It is absolutely possible that they're going to make it, again, a 50-50 shot. Now, that means those Anton Ewald and Daughter are through. Frida Green is still waiting in the wings, and so is Eva and Ewa. Those two are still in the running. That means we had 3 songs unfortunately eliminated, but everyone that enters Melodifestivalen, they know just that how it goes, so they shouldn't be surprised. But let's take a look at the songs that did not make it. One of them is Patrick Jean with Tears Run Dry. Patrick actually co-wrote the song by the Mamas last year's Move that was the winning entry, and this time he's like, screw it, I'm gonna try it myself. He made it through the first round of voting, but then ultimately was eliminated. Maybe he'll try again in the future, but 2021, not his year, unfortunately. But keep in mind, winning isn't everything. This is great promotion for a lot of singers, and hopefully this will work out for him as well. A lot of people come back another year stronger and better, but they at least had a platform. And then the song that finished in 6th place, and that is out, is Val featuring Sami, 90-talet. They are a duo that I did not expect that sound from, and it wasn't enough to make it through. But I'm glad they made it. They brought a lot of fun to the stage. And then the last one on the list is Julia Elfrida with her song Rich. And that one is out. It finished in last place in Melodifestivalen. Unfortunately, somebody has to come last. I don't know if it was by landslide or what, but she is out. So those are the results of Melodifestivalen. We're going to move on to semifinal 3 next week, of course. So good congratulations, Daughter and Anton Ewald for making it through, and Frida and Eva for still being in the running. Now, let me share my thoughts first, and then I would love to hear from you as well. So, Daughter, obviously, as I showed you earlier, was also my pre-favorite, and I think she stayed my number one. I think it was just melodically and just the most catchy one and memorable, and I think it was my favorite this as well. I know it was a fan favorite, and yeah, boring, I have the same fan favorite, woohoo! but it was the favorite for a reason. I think she just slayed. I think she did an amazing job, and even though the staging wasn't necessarily groundbreaking, dark lighting with 4 dancers, that seems just like the thing right now. But the song itself, just this chorus is so powerful, and she just was really good. Like, she had the stage presence to really, really sell the song, and I thought she did a fantastic job, and she absolutely deserves it. I was expecting her to be announced first because it was the most obvious qualifier, and that is what they did. Someone was saying, by the way, we don't know who was last or six or seven. We do know World Susuri. During the show, we don't, but later on, it's being announced. So it was announced, my ranking, just to make sure to be clear why I announced it that way, because that's what has been announced by the broadcaster. So, Daughter, obviously a big, obvious qualifier. And then the other one is, of course, Anton Ewald. He was expected probably to be the second qualifier back then, and I don't think it is working right now either. But that is just, I'm the wrong audience, I guess, for that song. It just kind of sounds like something I've heard so many times in Melodifestivalen, but it is also catered to a very, very powerful group, the young teenage girls. I'm not saying they're the only ones who voted for it, but it is clear that this was definitely a group that they were going for. And it's just a kind of sound that works every single time. Now, as far as the second chance round songs are concerned, I feel kind of bad that I just don't click with Frida Green's song. It's pretty, I guess, but it just does nothing for me. Absolutely nada. And clearly, I am in the minority here because a lot of people did actually like it. I'm okay with, I guess, second chance. I just will not go crazy over it. And the thing is with Eva and Ewa, okay, it's a song that people are like, why? This one stole someone else's spot, and I will politely disagree. This was the song when it came on. Croatia, Dora was on, Norway's MGP was on. I paused the other two immediately because they just got my attention right away. I was like, oh my god, that is so cute. I mean, we had those dancers dressed as old people, and the guy's doing a split, and he's like, "Oh, my back." I know it is. It's a comedy act, therefore it is okay. They're making fun of themselves, kind of thing, and I thought it was hilarious. I laughed, I was giggling, I just enjoyed it so much. The two sold it so well. Now again, a lot of people may not get it, and I understand why you wouldn't, but I just thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thought that they had a decent shot at making it the second chance round. I knew they weren't going to go through directly, but it's like, don't sleep on this one after that performance. That could have been absolutely third or fourth place, and that is exactly. And sometimes it was just a joyful, funny moment that we need, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's a reason why people voted for it, and is it gonna survive the second chance round? I don't know. There could be a lot of anti-votes, but could also be a big for vote. I don't know. But I'm just glad they still get another shot at performing this, because usually people of a certain age at Melodifestivalen have a very difficult time making it past the semi-stage. So the fact that they're still in the running, to me, is a big plus. I will say that I'm super bummed out that Julia Alfreda is out, and that not only that she came in dead last. I thought it was a really great staging, and I really liked the song. If it were up to me, it would have been a direct qualifier. So, but I knew that, that it would be tough. The producers put her in the second slot, which is usually reserved for the least liked song by the producers. And now you're always like, man, that's not true. I'm like, yes. Look at the way the producers put songs in a specific order. It doesn't mean you cannot do well in the second slot. You can, but there is a system in place, and it just kind of annoys me. But yeah, I'm sad that she didn't do better. So I am definitely bummed out about that. But overall, a very expected outcome. And last week was a terrible summer for me. All my favorites were out or barely made it into the second chance round. This time around, at least, even though it was mixed bag, I take a mixed bag over an empty bag. And that is what happened. So glad about Daughter. And yeah, sad about the other ones. But hey, you can't always get what you want, and that is the beauty about Melodifestivalen and Eurovision. I have come to terms a long time ago that your favorites don't always succeed, and that is okay. Now I would love to hear from you as well. What do you think about the winners? Questions, comments at ESC United in the chat so that I can see them and I will answer them. Next week we have a bunch of, well, not a bunch of, some big names. I think the biggest one to me next week is Charlotte Pirelli, who won the contest in '99 and returned in 2008. She's back with Still Young. And then, yeah, and then we got another semi, and then the second chance round, and then the grand final. So we still got plenty of music for you. So just hang in there. So people are saying, Connor Wells is saying, I think Daughter will be among the favorites to win Melfest. I think she is already, right? I know that Eric Sade is probably going to be the favorite because he got the Pimp slot. And the Pimp slot is always the one that is the song that goes last in semi-final four. It is often reserved for the ones that the producers really wanted to win or has a big hype. That was, for instance, Mansalmalo, with Heroes. It was John Lundvik with Too Late for Love. It was Lorraine with Statements. Granted, she was, you didn't do quite as well as she hoped, but she was the big hype. Last week, wouldn't it be nice? Last year it was Hannah Firm. So, and this time around it's going to Eric Sade. So we should expect, a big favorite there. But I can see Daughter certainly being a contender here. Absolutely. But we don't know what's out. We only know half of the songs so far. Michael Brandau is saying, Rana Rama Ding Dong was so funny and joyful. I think I used the same words. I wouldn't mind the song to represent Sweden. It's not going to win Melody Festival, and we live in trying to be in the real world. But I do think that it would be fun for Sweden just to send something that is not as by the book, that is not just screaming, we want to win, but is we just want to have fun. But I guess around this time around. So, Melody Festival is slightly too predictable in the semifinals. Julie Swanson is saying, I agree with that sentiment. I do think it has become a little bit predictable. That doesn't mean there are any surprises, but considering we have 4 semis, the amount of surprises are limited. It's usually kind of like, okay, we know that Danny's going to go through. Last week we had the surprise of Avignana, right? Going through. That was not an expected qualifier, but even the second, like the ones that usually go completely out, none of them come as a surprise. I like Little Todd, is Collins saying, but I feel it's predictable and it's nothing special in my opinion. Collins said it's a very fair statement, and I could kind of echo that sentiment. It is a fun song. I don't think Daughter's song will be my favorite. I enjoyed it while it's on, and so far it's probably the one that just, to me, I don't necessarily think that the songs that have been chosen so far for the grand finals have really blown me away. So out of the 4 songs that have been chosen, it's my favorite. I still think my winner is yet to come. It is by the book. It is melodically, arrangement-wise, visually something very comfortable and a recipe for success because it has worked in the past. I don't think it has necessarily as much personality as I like it to be, but that chorus is so darn catchy. Oh, I even can't. It is so darn catchy. But I hear your perspective. And then World Sasuri is saying Julia and Rich was so underrated. Yes, I agree with that. I thought it was such a good song. I like it melodically. I like the look. I like the energy, as said. So I'm glad I'm not the only one. But Melody Festival in Sweden, in general terms, never ever pick my favorite. Over the past 10 years, it happened once, which was blown away by it. But other than that, they usually go with, they don't necessarily have, we don't share always the same taste in music. Even though they do really well at Eurovision, it's just not necessarily always my kind of tea. But hey, that is just me. And Joao is saying, I don't think we have heard the winner of Melfest yet. Looking at you, Mamas. Another good point, the Mamas are still in the running. I do not count them out. The Mamas often not getting as much love with the Eurovision community, but the people that vote, the online community, is not representative of the people that vote for songs like the Mamas. So there is we use it in America a lot, the silent majority. And I think they have a really big shot at getting a lot of votes if the song is good. Plus, I do expect a good amount of sympathy vote going Mama's way because they were supposed to represent Sweden last year, and that did not happen. So that is exactly where we're at. And then Chalfon is asking, which of your favorites did win Melodifestivalen, Matt? In 2019, John Lundvik was my favorite with Too Late for Love. So I was thrilled that he won. So yeah, that was the... I'm trying to think. That was the only time of the past 10 years, since I've been watching Melodifestivalen live, and I started watching it in 2009, I believe, that my that's my favorite one. Lorraine was probably a close second, I think. No, wait, I have to remember. I'm mixing up the years right now. Maybe Lorraine was my favorite. I don't remember really what the competition was. But besides 2012, I have to go back and look it up. It was John Lundvik that actually is my favorite that won. So that's for Sweden. Be back next week, and we love to see what's going to happen there. And we also, by the way, had another semi-final in Norway. Norway had Melodi Grand Prix semi-final 5, and it's the last semi-final that they have. They're moving on to the second chance round, and then finally we'll have in just a week, I think, or so, the actual winner that is going through. So let's take a look at how it works. In case you don't know how it works in Norway, we have 4 songs battling it out. They're being randomly drawn into duels, so 2 songs battle it out, and if the winner of each duel they'll meet again in the final, in the super duel, if you will. And here is the first duel that we had, and usually, with my luck, my favorites end up in the same first duel, therefore one of them is eliminated. And though this week, fortunately, I was a little lucky. My 2 favorites ended up being in different semis, therefore they were both able to make it to the next round, or at least had a chance, I should say, move on to the next round. But as you can see, these are the 2 acts, and my list is not coming up right now for the names. But it was Coming Home was the second song she performed, the country song that was actually, probably by a lot of people overlooked. And it was battling it out against, here it is, Tuvaya, I think. And they were singing Bli med meg par garn, and a song in Norwegian, singing about farmers and the barn, I guess. So the people voted, but they said, okay, Coming Home by the band River should go through. Therefore, that one went through. And then we've had the second duel. As you can see here, 2 acts battling it out. It was Anne Fien with Walking in My Sleep versus America with I Can't Escape. So those 2 songs battled it out. The people voted, and ultimately it was America with I Can't Escape that won it. Not all. At that point, not all. And then that means River and America. I know it's pronounced I-America, right? I always mess that up. River and America, both of them performed again, and then the people voted, and then America got the most votes, therefore won this actual show. Therefore, she gets to go to the grand final of Melodi Grand Prix, therefore potentially hoping to win it all and represent Norway at the Eurovision Song Contest. So that is what happened, and it was a very interesting experience because they even tweeted about it, the MGP Melodi Grand Prix team, that the live stream went down for a good amount of time, which is unfortunate because Ryan Alexander apparently promoted his song Eyes Wide Open, and I didn't get to listen to it. So I have to do that again later on after the show because it was down, and then by the time it came back up, I think he had already performed. So he is already pre-qualified for the grand final, therefore he doesn't have to worry about qualification. In Norway, about 6 songs, I believe, they will actually were pre-qualified, and then the other half will be actually then through the semis. That's how it's done this year and basically last year as well. It's a fairly new system. So now we're moving on, as I pointed out, to the second chance round. Every song that has been eliminated is actually technically still in the running. One of them will get the final ticket to the grand final. So there's always hope. There's never false hope. Always hope, right? So, yes, as far as like, did you watch my reaction video? If not, I'll tell you right now. So, my initial winner, and I think still winner, was actually America with I Can't Escape. I thought she performed it beautifully with a lot of emotion, and it felt kind of raw, but it felt real, and it was dark, but it was just, I was totally into it. I was absolutely into it. The live stream also broke down at some point, so I had to watch it later on YouTube. But I found it while we were waiting for the results. So I watched it and I was like, that was really well performed. And I was not surprised that it won. And I think it absolutely deserved it. And I'm happy. I'm happy, happy, happy. It absolutely was the right choice. River Coming Home was also my second favorite, so I'm glad that those two actually ended up. And I will say, River really won me over tonight. I was like, well, in the unlikely event that America won't win, I would not be sad. It's Coming Home reminded me a lot about Malta's Home from 2014, the style. It's a country pop rock sound, which is hit or miss with me, doesn't always work, but it just worked. I think the staging was nice, how they almost had like a circle. The performed the camera work was great. The singer was good, and the energy was right. So I thought it was a very well. It was well performed. I don't know if it's going to get the second chance, the wild card, but I enjoyed it. And I'm glad that it got to do this, and hopefully this was a nice promotional tool for the band River. I thought they did fantastic. I think they did fantastic. I couldn't get into Tuvaya's song, the farm piece that was the gimmicky song, and it's a kid's song, right? And it's really like, I don't mind if you sing about being a farmer and that, but everything about the song is, it's geared towards a kids crowd. And I mean, I don't know the words, but the melody, the staging, it's I couldn't access it at all. I like me a good gimmicky fun song, but it just didn't translate. It doesn't translate well to me. And it's funny because we were just talking about Sweden, how the two ladies, Eva and Eva, made it work. Here, it just didn't click. And that's just how it goes sometimes. And clearly, I'm not alone because the Norwegians didn't quite get it either. At least, they didn't allow it to go through. And then Unfin, Walking in My Sleep, was eliminated. America kicked her out. And that was a fine song to me, but actually, America just, there was just no stopping her, right? She was just kind of like collateral damage in some ways. It's a good song. I liked it, but I just don't think it was enough. And I would like to hear your questions in regards to Norway at ESC United. Post them now and I will address them. Your thoughts or questions. So if you want to just state it, that's fine as well. I sometimes miss your questions because, they go pretty fast, but repost them. And of course, super chats are always answered first. Let's look at here. Kian Val Lafort. The song about the farm in MGP was awful. It's like a Little Big situation, but with Little Big, they have stupidity down to a fine art. The point I'm trying to make is that there's a difference between stupid and funny. That's a wonderfully phrased statement, Kian. So I completely agree with that. There is a difference between funny and silly, or stupid as you call it. And that's exactly what was missing here. It just felt silly. And Little Big makes it funny. Un, dos, cuatros. And sometimes you cannot really explain it and put it into words while one song works and the other doesn't. But it was just not funny to me, and it certainly did not transcend the language barrier, which, again, Eva and Eva kind of did. Because, you had old people dancing in the back and they're going to get hurt, and the ladies were just kind of pulling each other. And it was funny. It was just charming. This one wasn't charming to me, but that's just me. Stephen Kendall is asking, who is your choice for the wildcard spot? Mine is Ole Hans with Vi en Norge. Stephen, I like that song actually as well, and I don't think it would be my choice compared to what's still left. And let me just say, I keep saying it every single time we talk about Norway, but I'll keep saying it until the broadcaster changes their opinion. Stop with the direct qualifiers. The team is always like, ooh, we're doing this to add diversity to the... Stop doing it. You put often, not all of them. There's some good songs you put through, and they probably deserved a final, but if the song is good, they'll make it for the semis. When you have semis, give them to everyone, and have everyone to go through, or don't have them all. It's just upsetting to me because a lot of these songs that eliminated will not get to perform, and you picked songs that, in my view, and a lot of other people, not just me, should have gone through the semis, probably that would have never made it through. So I will not say names right now, but that is, I just keep saying that. Hopefully, one year they will not do that because it's just stupid. Either have semis or don't. And duos are always a bit tricky anyway. So anyway, let me take a look at the list of the songs. From semi 1, Jorn was my favorite, so he's a big candidate. Big Daddy Carsten, Diane, Ollie Hartz, Royanne. I still stick with Jorn from semi 1. That is to me the one that stood out the most to me. There's nothing else to me. I would be totally fine with it. Ollie Hartz would be. I would not be sad either. I don't want necessarily Big Daddy Carsten to be that wild card spot because I think the others deserve it more. But I wouldn't be mad. That's probably my bad song of the year. That's my guilty pleasure. That is my guilty pleasure, and that is what I'm sticking with. You're all allowed to have one. Only one guilty pleasure per year. So my answer is Jorn, though. I think it would just add so much to the lineup, and it's just a fantastic song. So, do you think that somebody said, I lost the chat, I don't know who it was, but it was a question, something down the line. Do you think America could beat Kino as and win MGP? Here's the thing. I've always said, while I do believe that they are a big favorite and probably will win Kino, I don't think it's a shoo-in. I do think that they have competition, and America is now competition. I think Tix is competition. I think that Emmy is competition. Keep in mind, this will be 100% televote. And I hear conflicting information. Kino is very popular in Norway, but they have not established some kind of a big fan base as like Alexander Rybak did over the 10 years that he waited, right? So it may have been the timing may have been off, but they have a good song and people like it. But all I'm saying is Tix did better in the charts, so that is a big like question mark for me. Could he actually do it? America and Emmy, I think they are definitely overlooked. I think they actually have really good chances. Let Loose could surprise to me as well, if you ask me, but I don't know. Probably not for a win. But I think MGP this year stepped it up. There are lots of good songs, and I'm excited. I'm excited, and they're taking seriously. I'm so sad for Ulrika that she decided it was her own choice not to come back for this year. But so much competition. But recreating the magic is just not an easy process. Connor Wells is asking, what are your thoughts on Tix performing Ut av Movet in English in the final? I'm disappointed that they aren't keeping it in Norwegian. Connor, I did know that Tix said that he would translate it into English should he win, so I always knew that this was going to happen. In a lot of cases, I don't like the songs being translated. I can see where this makes sense, or at least where it wouldn't hurt the song's chances as much, or me liking it less. Because I think the song's really good, but yeah, maybe it won't work in English. I don't know. But I don't blame him. I'm not too upset about it. That's my point. Certain songs that I could not see being translated, I'm like, or at least I feel as it would lose a lot of the magic. I'm trying to think here if there are any of the songs I can think of. The thing is, Tix, I think, is the only song in Norwegian left, right? In the semis, or was. Now that he's singing in English, we have no Norwegian songs left in the running. At least, I'm trying to remember here. Yeah, I don't think so. So now that I'm knowing that, maybe we should have one. But we didn't have that many. Who is left that has a song in Norwegian in the second chance round? Maria Solheim, Norliset, that's not going to win. Ole Hartz, Vi er Norge. So that was probably in Landevein's Helter with Alt det der. They're not going to make it. Tuvea, nope. So the only one I can see is Ole Hartz, the only non-English song to actually be in there. But I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. The last time we had a song in Norwegian was in 2006, right? Good times. So yeah, that is what we have for that for Norway. Now let's wait for the second chance round, which will actually take place on the 15th, so only in 2 days, on a Monday. Who has time on a Monday? What the heck? And then the final will be next week, next Saturday. So by next week, we'll have the Norwegian song. I am super excited. We get not getting many music because so many of the acts were chosen internally this year that they're all waiting until the very last minute. So anytime we get a song, I'm just like, yes, mama. So I am stoked that we get more music at last. And we have Croatia, right? So that is what we have right now. I just want to take a look at some of the other news that we have real quick, and then I'm opening up to the open questions section. The first thing I have here is Spain. Just want to give you a quick update in case you don't know. The Spanish broadcaster RTVE, they announced that the national final Destino Eurovision, yeah, that's me butchering Spanish now since I butchered Croatian before, and Norwegian. It will take place on the February the 20th, so we'll get the Spanish song next week as well. They did a last minute kind of situation where they gave us 2 songs to choose from. I did my reaction video for Blas Cantos, 2 entries, so if you want to check them out, great. If not, whoop-de-doo. That's your call. Real quick on that, it's the Spanish and international audience can actually have a say, meaning you can vote. You can vote in Spain to select the winner. And the 2 songs are in the running are Memoria and Voy a Quedarme, as I pointed out. Watch my recent video if you're interested to see what my favorite one was. Voting is happening as we speak, by the way. So go to the broadcaster's website, have a say in which one should go. And folks in Spain can also vote by phone and, of course, text message. And several big names will join Blas on that night, including Pastora Soler, who represented Spain in 2012. Beautiful song. And then during 2015, I believe. So that is what's happening there, which is super exciting. I am happy that we're going to get a choice. If you watch my reaction video, you know that I'm not crazy about either of the songs. They're both fine. None of them is bad, but they're just kind of a little safe, I guess. But that's just how I feel. Moving on, what else do we have? Oh yes, Bulgaria. Did you pay attention to what's going on there? Well, if not, good thing that you're here. So in Bulgaria, we know that Victoria is going to represent the country, Bulgaria, at the Eurovision Song Contest 2021. She previously was selected by the broadcaster in 2020 with her song Tears Getting Sober, and since the was cancelled, she couldn't go, but now she's back, and there has been a lot of things happening, and we got some updates here as well. We don't have the song yet, but very, very soon. So first of all songs that are out there, and there's 6 of them, they're still in the running as a potential entry, 6 of them. All songs have been recorded, and they will be revealed shortly, starting tomorrow, apparently. One song is a contender still, is Ugly Cry. Let me just actually play this one. This is what my initial reaction was. Oop, it's not coming up. All right, I'm not going to show you that. But the point is, Ugly Cry is one of them, and then there are the other ones are called Imaginary Friend, Growing Up is Getting Old, and okay, this is yes. I'm so articulate right now. Very different, but I love, you know what I really like are the backup vocals that play along with the song, kind of what they did actually last year as well. This is such a good song, like, to put out on an album, right? Could do really well in the Billboard charts as well. It's very current, very relevant. Well, that was an odd delay. I started that video like a minute ago, and now it just popped up out of nowhere. Oh, and technical difficulties, you gotta love them. But it was just a quick reaction that I had for Ugly Cry. Ugly Cry, as pointed out, still in the running, so keep an eye out for that. That could be the song for Eurovision. The other ones, as I pointed out, Imaginary Friend, Dive into the Unknown, Phantom Pain, The Funeral Song, Growing Up is Hard to Do. So those are the songs that are the 6 titles. We don't know yet. Once songs are out, us fans, myself included, y'all, you can leave feedback, share your thoughts, constructive criticism, not just wah, 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 I hate it. That's not helpful. And then Team Bulgaria will ultimately pick the right song that they feel, got the best feedback and will ultimately get them the best results at the contest. So make sure to check back tomorrow, right? Because tomorrow we will certainly, I will do my part and so should you. Let's help Bulgaria to get a really, really good song. So, next up, Czech Republic has an update as well. Benny Christo, similar situation as with other acts, was set to represent Czech Republic in 2020 with Kimama, and then the contest was cancelled, COVID, blah, blah, blah. And he missed his chance, right? You were thinking he won that online national final, and it didn't happen. But we do have some updates. Number one, we already knew that he was chosen as the act internally by the broadcaster. It was the right thing to do. He, in my opinion, of course, you can always disagree, but he was, probably disappointed. The broadcaster immediately said, no, we got to send him. He won his ride, and so he was able to go, or is able to go. And now he doesn't have to go through a national final. All he has to do is sit tight pretty, and the team and him work on a song. And the good news is that we have the song will be released on Tuesday, February 16th, so in just a few days. What we know is that the song will be mostly in English, but apparently will feature one line in Czech. That is what we are told. Keep in mind, those who like Kimama, his last year's effort, should be aware that this new entry will not be in the Afro-pop genre, so mentally prepare yourself for that. So and there has been a snippet released. It was like part of the documentary where you can hear like just a tiny portion of the song, and I'll try to play that for you here if my system allows me to.
No, baby, come back, won't you? Hey, come back, hey. Oh, I'm crazy. Oh, I did a lot of dumb a lot of things I wish I didn't know.
Uvědomil jsem si, že
There you have it. So that's not much, but it's something, right? So you can see it's a little bit more of an upbeat song, and we have to wait and see in a few days what exactly this whole thing's going to sound like. So those are the updates for the latest and greatest news in terms of the songs that are coming out. Nope, I lied. There's one more. North Macedonia. Once again, it's a recurring theme. Vasil was set to represent North Macedonia in 2020 and canceled Eurovision, blah, blah, blah. And broadcaster just recently, they waited for a long time, but they finally said, okay, we're sending Vasil anyway. And that is, to me, always an exciting thing. I want them all back. And the more, the merrier, in my humble opinion. So his song last year was Dance. And that one, clearly, they cannot send again, because that's not how it works. But he will get his new shot, and we got more information on that. The song will be released in early March, but we don't know the exact date yet either. So just hang in there. And what we do know, though, is it will feature the former members of the Chicago Children's Choir as the backup vocals. And Vasil was part of that choir when he was a child in the US here. But we don't know if it's a mid-tempo, a ballad, or a pop song. That all still remains to be seen. So we got a good amount of updates, and the next week, my friends, now is going to be super busy. So many Eurovision updates, so I hope you stay tuned, because just listen to this. There's so much going on, and hopefully we'll also get an update on the hosting situation, but that all is still up in the air as well. So look out for North Macedonia. Well, actually the song won't be out for a little while, but look out for Bulgaria. Look out for Spain. Look out for Czech Republic. Yay! More music, more excitement. So I just wanted to let you know about these updates, and that's all we have for today. But now let's open the open Q&A session. If you have any other questions to any of the news or the national finals, now is your chance at ESC United. So make sure that I'll see that. And always thank you so much for your support, all the memberships and all that stuff. Can't do it without you. Have you heard Samantha Tina's Eurovision 2020 song snippet yet? Not yet. That is next on my list. I've been very busy with, all that stuff today. Kelt Raven is saying, do you share my concern that Denmark will be back to 2015 and 2016 style failure with an underwhelming set of songs and a pure televote which could make a Soldier of Love sized mistake? Kelt, yes. So I did my reaction video yesterday, so feel free to check it out. It was a very, very underwhelming national final. And I'm usually quite supportive of Denmark and more of a vocal supporter thing. The songs aren't as bad as people make it out to be. I was one of the few people who liked the 2019 entry. I mean, it did pretty well. I love 2018. I like 2017. I've been quite supportive of the songs, and they had good songs in national finals that didn't make it. Soldiers of Love, I remember 2016, the national final in Denmark, which I still think was even weaker than this year's. And then Soldiers of Love was my least favorite of the weakest national final. And it won. So I'm worried we're going to get a similar situation like that. Denmark, if you need to take a break, then they have to. I don't want them to, because I love the Danish people. I love Denmark. Ugh. I spent, several weeks there during Eurovision, and it was one of my favorite experiences. So it's not for the lack of me wanting to go there. It's just the songs were so underwhelming. I also think, is that really the best that people send, or is the selection committee just really so much out of touch that they cannot pick a little bit something that's a little bit less safe and just ordinary? Go with risks. Go with a big risk. What? Like, Rasmussen was a big risk, right? The Viking song, and it paid off. Yes, not with the juries, but with the televoters. And is the best result for Denmark, I believe, since they won in 2013, right? 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, so I just think they had a count. So why don't play it safe? It often does not work. Okay, ESVL97 Karins is saying, some interesting facts. 2 main songs that running for Samantha Tina are: one song written with Rhines, main singer of Double Faced Eels, and second one is Aminata. Well, Aminata always or often involved in the songwriting in Latvia as of late, which I'm fine with. She had some really good music, so that's good. Thank you for sharing that, and for everyone to hear. Angie P is saying, I was a little disappointed by Spain. However, I believe Memoria is more modern, fits Blas better, and has staging potential. Though Spain is not known for good staging. What do you think? Angie P, watch my reaction video, and I basically agree with what you were just saying. I do think that I don't understand with Spain is that they're already pre-qualified, right? They don't have to worry about qualifying from the semis, so I don't understand why they go with safe. Go also balls to the walls. That's all I'm saying. I understand the Blas Canto style. That's his music. That is his style. I get it, but it's just radio-friendly music that doesn't have a climatic moment, and it doesn't have a memorable hook that people would vote for it. Some songs are not votable, if that makes any sense. They're listenable and fun, but it's not the grabber. It's an album filler. It's not the standalone single, and that is the issue I have with these songs. So I agree with your assessment. Lasse Weird Dane is saying, I think our national final is underwhelming, yes, but not a dumpster fire for me personally. Lasse, I don't think it's a dumpster fire either. A dumpster fire was 2016 national final in my view. I just think it's ordinary. That's all I'm saying. It's just so, like, where is the excitement? Like, now the songs really excites me. Abracadabra was my favorite. There, I said it if you didn't watch it. So, but still watch my reaction video, because be nice. Jem is saying that direct qualified songs in MGP are piced by a jury. Piced. That is how MGP uses the jury vote. By a jury. Oh, okay. Yeah. Piced. No, I understand that the direct qualifies in MGP. Sorry, I had to understand. I understand that a jury picks those, but I don't like that the jury gets that power. It's just stupid. If you want to have semis, everyone has to go through it. Everybody should go to the ESC United forum and vote for the weekly poll. Deadline is midnight tonight. Thank you, Paul Nordahl, for pointing that out. The video will be, I will post those results soon. You still can vote for another 34 minutes if you want Croatia to climb up in the ranking. If not, we'll have to wait until next week because we're going to do a reset at midnight. You can vote again. So the result video will be up. Last week, France won, but now Lithuania and Ukraine joined the lineup. They didn't have enough time to climb up. Can they pass France or not? We'll find out soon enough. Connor Wells is saying, thoughts on the BBC and the Eurovision Twitter account finally waking up after 9 months in hibernation. I think an announcement on the UK entry is close. Connor, yeah, I mean, it has to be close. I mean, we only have a few weeks left. Every time they wait, and this is based on prior patterns, right? Every time the UK waits until the very last minute, they mess it up. They've done that so many times, and then they're going to send us songs like the UK 2015. Or they sent a big name that just doesn't really click with Eurovision. So I am really worried that they're going to go down that path. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I'm being realistic. But the fact that they're waiting again until the very last minute without any announcement usually means disaster. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they have something so good that they're just holding off. But knowing what the BBC has been done in the past, I'm not quite as optimistic, to say the least. Musical Muffin is saying, I just want you to know that Jan Forst Borst will do a review on Benny's song. It'll be tomorrow on his YouTube channel. Thank you for letting us know. I'll make sure to check that out. And then soon enough, we'll have the song as well. Czech Republic became a little bit, powerhouse is maybe too strong of a statement, but they're certainly, over the past 4 years, they qualified 3 times after never being able to do that. So I'm excited that they're actually now a player in the game, and if they keep it up, I can see really good things for them. And yeah, Walt Sasuri is saying there are actually just 3 MGP songs, pre-qualification songs that I like. Those are Kaya Road, Feel Again, Kaino Monument, and Tix Ut af Morket. Katja Road, Feel Again. Yeah, they're all fine. They're all good songs. But even if they were fantastic songs, I still say send them all through semis. Otherwise, why bother with semis? Do you believe James Newman will return to... Well, he's the one who was set to represent the UK. I would be surprised if they pick him. Why would they wait so long? They could have announced the artist at least. So my gut feeling is telling me no. My heart says please send him, though. Because he's a good singer, and he deserves his moment in the sun after it being ripped underneath from him. Like, over half of the countries are doing that. Right? Freddie Fox is saying, as a Swede who loves Eurovision, I think Melodifestivalen is awfully weak this year. What are your thoughts? Freddie Fox, I would not say awfully weak. No, I did like the first semi better than the second one, but to me, it's more about the results have been awful. For the most part, daughter set apart. My favorites, my top 3 did not do well at all. My third place went to second chance on, my top 2 were eliminated. And I feel as this is not a good pattern. But I'm used to it from Sweden because them and I, we usually don't agree when it comes to music. So I'm just mentally preparing myself. But I'm preparing for the worst, but hoping for the best, right? That's what we do. Do you watch the 100 Days to Eurovision video? Did you like it? I feel horrible because I was taking part in like the promotion on it, but I didn't watch it because I was working, and then yesterday I had to visit family, and so I haven't had a chance. And then I woke up this morning and I had to do Eurovision because keep in mind I'm 9 hours behind. The show started like at 10:50 in the morning here, so I'll watch it later. But yeah, I'm still far behind. So the answer is no. And Stephen Kendall is saying, Barbara Pravi is friends with Callum Scott. What do you think about sending him from the UK? Okay, listen. I live in America. I've lived in America for 20 years now. I don't know what's going on in the British scene, so I don't know who that is. I don't know who Callum Scott is. Sorry. So you totally called me at my bluff here. I really wasn't bluffing. My ignorance. You called me out on my ignorance here. Thanks a lot. And Freddie Fox, one more time. Do you think Sweden would have won if they sent a big name like Zara Larsson or Chris Clifford? I think that could be an upswing for Sweden again. Well, Freddie, I don't know these people, so if they're big names, great. But I don't. I mean, it could make a difference maybe. And I don't know how big names work in Melody Festival. And do they get a better shot? Because there's like the Melody Festival and fame, and then the non-Melody Festival and fame. So I'm not curious how many of these acts actually have a bigger presentation outside the Melody Festival and bubble. So I don't know. And an upswing for Sweden, it's subjective because look at their results. They've been in the top 10 every single year since 2014. Since 2011, they only missed a top 10 spot once, right, in 2013. So they are very, very successful. So I don't know if they need an upswing. Now you can talk about, bringing something more unique to the table because you can make a case that music hasn't been as diverse or risky. That I agree with, but in terms of results, I think they're sitting pretty. Yeah. They deleted the live stream of 100 Days, just letting you know why. I guess I'm deleting this one too then. No. So yeah, that is definitely where we are. So we got Nina. Oh, I almost said Nina. The name is stuck in my head. We got the song in Croatia. We got 2 more results in Sweden and Norway, a little closer to the results. Now we get to listen to Albina's song 500 times until we grow tired of it, because that's how we do it in the Eurovision world. And then next week we get a lot of new music, or a good amount of new music, I should say. So stay tuned for that, and I will be back most definitely next week with the next live stream, and hopefully I'm not going to be on my own, but I had to do it on my own because I've been having trouble with bringing people on. Then my system just overloads and it slows down the whole thing. But I would love to have Roy or Sean back and all that stuff. So thank you for watching again. I couldn't do it without you. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Have a good night, everyone. See you soon. I don't know what this is, but I'll do it anyway. Bye now.